Welcome to class number 2. In this class we focused on the lower leg for the main purpose of opening your ankles. Why do we need to have flexible ankles? Because in Thai massage it's part of giving us power. If I want to push off into certain directions in my lunge, I need to be able to have a flexible ankle. Also, when you go to Thailand, you'll get a comfortable seat on a Thai toilet. So I'm preparing you for your journey. So we'll start with the technique that we ended with in class 1, which is working the IT band. We did it like this. And then a lot of you found that when you get closer to the knee, that it doesn't feel as good, this technique. It's because this technique is really meant for just the meaty part of the IT band. When you get closer to the knee, you can hook your foot underneath and use that foot as a stopper as you go towards the knee. Still working very mindfully. Okay, now this troublemaker muscle, it's called the tibialis anterior, and it's right here, right in between the calf and this tibia bone. So technique number 1 is just with palming. I get a comfortable stance on my knees and I lightly guide the foot inwards for an inward rotation. Then fingers point towards me, sinking down as I exhale, and position 2. That's weight, more weight. Position 3. Okay, so the palming is really going to warm that muscle up for the next move, which is using your thumb. We did the technique where the thumb is in the center of the palm, and we're actually going sideways, but you can also do this way. There's no tension in my thumb. You may hear some gurgles in somebody's belly while you do this technique as you work the stomach meridian. It's really beneficial. You can thumb all the way down. It doesn't just have to be on the bone. Or on the muscle next to the bone. Okay, technique number 3 is with the knee. Once again, I guide the muscle, so I have lots of muscle to work with here. I place my hand on her foot and knee, but without any pressure. Lift up my knee, I find the soft part. Now I'm really used to what that is, so I don't need to find it anymore. Place it down. Inhale and then I come to the next position. The other way to pour weight is just by leaning into your knee. But I find that Sarah can take more, so I will give more weight. Is that right? Can you take more? Check to feel if the muscle has gotten softer, and it has. So, good. Now, technique number 4 is with the forearm. So, find a comfortable position, and then I go and this technique really takes the least amount of effort on my part. I really only feel comfortable doing this technique just on the muscle though, not all the way down. Okay. To find out more how flexible the ankle is and to give it even more stretch, you can take your thumb across the beginning part of the joint, your fingers around the inside of the foot. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lean and pull. This is one of Pischest's favorites. I always remember him doing this in class. So you can try that a few times. And then you can come to the base of the feet and sort of test your work. How soft, loose. Turn the feet in. This outer edge of the foot goes back, and I can see already that this ankle is already flexing more, but I didn't check it before, so. Good. Okay. Take your thumbs together, bring them to the top of the ankle joint with the fingers wrapped around the edge, and make some figure eights. This is where you channel your inner osteopath, your inner chiropractor, and get really interested in how a joint moves. You want it to feel like water. So after I do that a few times, maybe a minute if I can, then I squeeze and point the foot down. Squeeze all the way to the toes. And then I can even stretch the muscles on the tops of the feet, right where the toes begin. This is really great after winter when everybody's been wearing shoes for months and then their feet are all... Then I take my thumb and finger to the toe joint, circle, and lightly pull, circle. Little pop might happen, but don't force it. Squeeze again, and again check. Lovely. Okay. Okay, now we're ready to get into the hips and the low back and the glutes. Very, very important muscles. So, I want to, before I get into the Russian dance, take Sarah's other leg and guide it all the way to the midline. So it's in one straight line with her shoulder. Then I come up, take my foot over, bring her knee over my hip, so it's as close to my hip as it can be. Then I have to take Sarah's arms out to the side, so I have plenty of space to dance on her. Both hands down, one knee down, other knee up, and guide the low back towards you. Come back and guide the outer hip towards you. My fingers are doing something like this. They're flat and pulling the muscle away from the bone and towards me. Both hands down. You can stay. Feels really good around the sacrum. Now, for the yogis, you want to give a stretch, you bring one knee down. I like to lock that knee with my outer hip and just use my foot so my hands are free. I can even do a stretch myself. How does that feel? Just a reminder that when you're doing your practice sessions that you let your friend know that you're doing this for your learning and that you're going to be asking them how they feel, if it feels good, if it's enough pressure. This is how you gain confidence in your practice, so it's really worth it. Okay, so now Sarah's all the way over onto her side. I'm going to take my thumb into a butterfly grip, guide her shoulder away from her ear, and then bring her arm here. I didn't have my pillow ready, so sneak it in there. Okay, if you need a break from being on your knees, turn around and sit back to back. This is a great way to warm the lower back and for you to have a rest. Most people find that this arm that's underneath isn't comfortable. So, one option is, I'll take you back, that we take this arm and we really pull it out to the side before we take Sarah all the way over. The other option is we just ask our friend to please bring their arm behind their back. And then you know that they're going to be pretty comfortable for the next technique. Okay. I'm really excited to work this part of the body, but I noticed that there's a gap between Sarah's hip and the floor. So I'm going to take one of my pillows and put it there. Whoosh. Good. Now I can really go in without any tension in the front of the hip. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the meaty part and I'm going to pour my weight and I'm going to really make challah, make dough with it. This is how we can help the low back release. If I feel really comfortable and I feel she needs more weight, I can just This is why we love Thai massage. There's no rules. Okay. Now I want to work another important muscle. The peroneus longus, that part of the muscle is at this point of the leg, and it helps to open this part of the ankle. So I can't really work it from this position, so I will take this pillow out from Sarah's leg. That pillow is a little big for Thai massage, by the way. And I want to make sure that I have full exposure here. So I will start just by palming. Okay. One of my teachers taught me that if you wear some mala beads, you know that you're going the right distance if your mala beads hang directly underneath you, like 90 degrees. Okay, so I palm down the muscle, and then I take my thumb and double thumb, but I need more support, so lunge position. In Thai massage, we're using the flat part of our thumb, not the pointy tip. So I'm going to start working on Sarah's foot with my foot, and that means that there needs to be support underneath her foot and the top of her ankle. If I see that there's a space, like here, I know that there's no way that I'm going to press on there until there's some support. Okay? Now you just see my foot. It's the only thing that's important. And I start to match my foot up with her foot. And I do these slow walking meditations, we call them. And I can play with different positions. I can switch my feet a lot. And this is something that you can do for people that have trouble relaxing because you're not so in their space, but you're doing this really rhythmic walking, calming for the nervous system. Okay. Most of the techniques that we're doing right now are static techniques. We talked about moving between static and flexible stretching and dynamic motions to create a sequence or a journey for somebody. So these techniques, besides the Russian dance, are mostly more static. I'm going to continue now to open the back of the lower leg, the calf muscle, with my foot. I go below the knee and I test first before going so deep. So the first time I walk down the calf is gentle. And then the second time I can put more pressure, longer hold. When I come off of the pressure, I'm not pushing with this foot, I'm just leaning back on the back leg, and that helps me to come off. Okay, now we're ready for the famous bloodstop. I think I told you guys I practiced this technique for almost 3 months when I was at Pischest because it was the most effective and powerful technique, and because he made me do it. So, there's two places that we like to sit. One is on the inside line, and one is on the back of the leg, the hamstring muscle, the kidney line, that outside line, number 3 in Thai massage. So we're just going to sit now on the back of the leg. So I'm going to rotate Sarah's leg more in. So I have full exposure of the hamstring muscles. Turn around. And slowly have a seat. I open this leg out to the side. My heart is in line with Sarah's foot. And my other leg is bent at a comfortable angle. For me, this pose is like a deep meditation. It's a time that I really connect with the feeling of Sarah's maybe pulse, or the warmth that's happening underneath my bottom, or that energy that's, it feels something like this.